I've got a lot of updates to share in this episode. Let's do it. So first up, after the chassis aluminum was done, before I can put the side luggage pods on, I need to route power, cooling, brake lines all the way up and down either side of the car. So this is what I'm doing here. You can see the battery cable that will go from the battery to the starter on the rear where the motor is. And then for the side coolant pipes, what I decided to do was wrap them with some small foam tape and then aluminum tape over the top of that to secure it from, weatherize it to some extent from the elements. And here you can see I'm wrapping these side pipes. It's just to keep heat from radiating into the cabin on both the passenger and driver side. And here you can see the side pipes mounted up along with the battery cable on the passenger side. You can see the radiator I've actually got in place here as well. And routed that from front to back. Here's the driver's side. Again, coolant pipe down the driver's side. The hot coolant's actually coming from the motor down the driver's side up to the radiator, so want to make sure that was covered for sure. The other thing I decided to do was fabricate my own brake lines, my own hard brake lines out of nickel copper alloy. Really easy to maneuver and manipulate those lines. I just find them cleaner looking than the Ultima factory braided stainless lines. A little bit more work to put in place, but with the right flare crimping tool, really easy to work with and to get right. It's not expensive either. I highly recommend this setup if you're in the middle of a build. Here's the rear T-fitting, and then at the top of this picture you can see the brake tab. I made my own mounting tabs as well, so I could put them anywhere I like. And any reason to use the plasma table, I am in. All right, so while I was in the middle of this brake line install, I figured I would install and put power brakes in. So this is a dual servo power brake assist unit that I picked up. Pretty small unit for what it does. Had to make my own mounting system. You can see the feet here. Really easily fabricated with some angle brackets, some basic welding and paint, and mounted it up to the dual servo unit to install into the chassis right where the battery is supposed to go normally. And here's where the battery is supposed to go, right in the front of the car where the steering rack is. But this fits perfect. It's pretty tight, not a lot of clearance here, but it actually fits very, very well. I was pretty pleased with how this fit. A few nutserts installed in the base aluminum panel there on the bottom, and then this just screws right down. Nice and secure, it's not going anywhere, and then very easy to plumb, again with the nickel copper alloy brake lines you can see routed out here. Looks complicated, but it's really not. Pretty straightforward setup. And then with the steering shaft installed with the steering, you can see tight clearances, but I rotated everything to make sure everything's clear, and it all works really well. So pretty pleased with the brake setup so far. A couple other things I wanted to show you guys was my custom pedal setup. So given I'm putting the 5.2 liter V10 out of the R8 / Lamborghini Huracan, I decided what I was going to do was retain the same pedals that are in both of those cars too. So this is an electronic gas pedal. There's no cable, makes it a lot easier. This is the actual gas pedal out of the Huracan and the R8, as well as the brake pedal. And I customized the brake pedal to fit on the brake pedal pedestal. And then I made custom mounts. You can see here these black mounts so that everything is bolted up and nice and tight and fixed. And then here is a dead pedal So normally there's a third pedal mount for where a clutch would go. You can kind of see the hole right there where the clutch master cylinder would go right here, but given no clutch in this car, I'm going with the 7-speed dual clutch S-tronic gearbox that comes again with the Huracan and the R8. No need for a clutch pedal, so I have a nice spot to rest my foot there on maybe a long road trip or whatnot. So pretty cool setup. Looks kind of like a factory look with those pedals on the pedal setup. All right, let me walk you through how I actually made those aluminum pedal bases. Back to Fusion 360 again. Here you can see the design. I actually discovered a cool sheet metal function within Fusion 360 that allows you to create sheet metal parts. So here's what the brake pedal stop looks like. And you can actually flatten out this design for your template to cut. So I simply designed this in Fusion, exported this to a file that my plasma table would accept, and I had these designs cut out of a piece of aluminum sheet. And then you've got the bend lines you can see there in green, and you bend up the part to get your custom aluminum bracketry. Here's the dead pedal. This is a little bit simpler, just a couple of bends in this one. But again, using the software in this tool makes this kind of job super, super easy. And then here's the gas pedal, a little bit more complicated in this setup. I use this as a base fabrication design. I modified this a little bit, as you'll see in the actual shots here that I'll show you in a minute. But when you flatten this out, you've got your cut template. You could even print this out on a piece of paper, cut it out, trace it on your sheet metal, and then cut it out by hand. So pretty slick capability with this awesome piece of software. All right, here's the actual part. Welded to give it some additional rigidity, and added a spine up the back just to give the gas pedal some additional support, given that it's a pretty tall gas pedal. Here's the pedal on the plate. I'm figuring out here where to put the screw holes to screw the pedal to the actual plate. And here you can actually see the backs of the screws on the pedal. And I actually added a fourth up towards the top that bolts to a bracket I put on the front bulkhead to give the pedal some rigid support. Here's the base cover for the brake pedal with the tabs welded here to give it some strength. And here is the third pedal cover, the dead pedal. Welded that up, and the beauty with aluminum is if you don't like the welds, you can grind it off smooth and make it look nice. And with my aluminum welding skills, I need all the help I can get. Here's the mount for the dead pedal, super easy, just riveted across the top of that simple L bracket. And then I powder coated, shot some powder coat, put them in my little powder coat oven with some satin black. And here's what they look like. Came out really nice, should be durable. And with it all mounted in the car. I'm gonna cover up the dead pedal with carpet. That's why I left that bare aluminum. But here's the finished product. I'm pretty pleased with it.